So, good afternoon. In our last class, we have discussed about this DCT and DST. So, one of you asked me what is the difference between the DFT, DCT, and DST. So, I just thought to make one slide and just explain you what happens over here. So, if you see in DFT, we all know that we are using complex exponentials as the basis function. In DCT, we are basically talking about cosine only basis function, and in discrete sine transform, we are basically talking about sine only basis function. Okay, so in DFT, we considered that signal is periodic. So in DCT, we have basically there is a strong energy compaction, and in DST, it helps us in this in the assumption that there is odd symmetry in nature. Okay, so what happens? DFT, they are primarily used in frequency domain filtering and image resolution applications. Okay. DCT, it is primarily used in JPG image compression and video compression standards. And DST, we basically use for boundary value problem solutions and mathematical signal analysis. It is not much used in image processing industry. Okay, so DFT, DCT, and DST transform uh, the spatial domain image into frequency domain representations. Among them, DCT provides superior energy compaction and is widely used in image compression technologies such as JPEG. Now, today we'll be going for Hadamard transform. Okay, so Hadamard transform, it is basically highly efficient when we have high correlated data. So the Hadamard transform is a fast transform used in digital signal processing and image compression. Okay, unlike other transforms, they rely on the computationally expensive floating point multiplication, and the Hadamard transform offers a distinct advantage in hardware implementation. Why that is so, I'll be coming a few moments later. Okay, so if you see, hardware implementation is easier, hence if you see, there is computationally efficient algorithm. Okay, next is it requires only addition and subtraction. Okay, so there is no multiplication. In multiplication you need higher this higher computational complexity is needed for the implementation, and hence since there are no multiplication, the processing it becomes fast, and hence Hadamard transform, it is regarded as the fast transform. Okay, and hence this Hadamard transform, it has been commonly used for real-time applications. Apart from that, Hadamard transform gives you, it is an excellent tool for energy compression. So excellent at compressing information into fewer coefficients, especially for highly correlated data when there is high correlation in the data. Okay. So how to create these matrices, that is the primary thing. Okay, because when we talk about this mathematical transforms, we are mainly interested in the matrices, or the what you call transformation matrices, that can help us in computing these transforms. Okay, so if you consider over here, suppose we want to perform 2D Hadamard transform, 2D Hadamard transform. So we'll be having 2 by 2 matrix. So 2, it is written as 2 to the power 1, right? So next is 4. It is a 4 point. So we can write it as a 2 to the power 2. Okay, if it is 8, we can write it as 2 to the power 3. Okay, so let's call this as n values. Okay, now when we are calculating the Hadamard transform, if you see, there is a coefficient over here and there is a coefficient over here in the 4-point matrix. Both in the 2-point and 4-point matrix, we are having this coefficients. Okay, now how this coefficient 1 by root 2 or 1 by 2 it is coming? The generic formula is 1 by root 2 to the power n. If it is 2-point Hadamard transform, the value of n is 1, so it becomes 1 by root 2. If it is a 4-point Hadamard transform, this value of n, it acquires the value of 2, so it becomes root 2 square, so we get 1 by 2 as the coefficient. So this is the scaling factor. Now coming to the matrix. So it is an iterative process to create higher order matrices. So what do you mean by iterative processes? For the creation of 4-point matrix, I need the data of the 2-point matrix. If I need to create this 8-point Hadamard matrix, I need the data or the matrix of the 4-point the Hadamard matrix. Getting my point? So what happens when we get this thing? Suppose for the 2 by 2 system, what we are having, we can represent it in this way. So the first pixel, it assumes the value of 1. Okay. So this is 4 quadrants. Okay. These are pixels, you can say, and you can also tell it as that these are 4 quadrants. Okay. So the first quadrant, it assumes a number, we get a number. The second quadrant, it gets the same number over here. The third quadrant, it also gets the same number. Whereas in the fourth quadrant, we get the numbers that are present in the first quadrant multiplied by -1. So we get minus of 1. Okay. So see, 1, 1, 1, -1. Okay. So this becomes our 2-point Hadamard transform. This scaling factor I told you, 1 by root to the power n. Secondly, when we go for the 4-point system, here 1 by 2. 1 by 2 is basically 1 by root over 2 square. So we got the 1 by 2. Now what is happening, if you see, we are taking this matrix and 4 by 4, we are making into 4 quadrants. So in the first quadrant, the values of the matrix from the 2-point, it comes over here. Directly, we will place it over there. 1, 1, 1, -1. Okay. In the second one, what is happening? Second quadrant, same value is coming. Over here, the same value is coming. In the fourth quadrant, coefficients multiplied by -1. So see, 1 becomes -1. This one, it also becomes -1. This one, it becomes -1. And this -1, it becomes 1. Okay. In the 8 by 8 matrix, again, it will be the similar thing. Okay. So see, the same thing which is happening, the coefficient, it is becoming 1 by 2 root 2, and then the 4 quadrant values, you can just check it out. So the transformation equations we already discussed. V equals to C multiplied by U, which is the original image, multiplied by C transform. And inverse transform is U equals to C transform multiplied by V multiplied by C. Okay. So the example, it is already given. So you can just do this. So I'm not just going through the calculations and all these things, because you have already computed DFT DFT examples, so it should be a cakewalk for you guys. Okay. So summary of the capabilities. The structure, it is defined by symmetric orthogonal matrices of +1 and -1. So because of that, we are mainly having addition and subtraction. So we have this process which is operating with reversible operations. Okay. Then efficiency, high processing speeds achieved by eliminating multiplications from the arithmetic logic. And utility, so strong energy compaction for analyzing and compressing highly correlated signals. Okay. So if you look over there in the example, so over here also the value became 4, right? And the energy is concentrated in the first pixel, right? So power of simplicity, the Hadamard transform demonstrates the complex data processing does not require complex arithmetic. Okay, by leveraging the structured matrices and simple operations, it offers a robust solution for energy compaction and fast signal analysis. Okay. So then the example, if you see the example is given, so I would ask you to perform these numericals, but a bit later. Let me cover up the next one. So the next transform, it is the Walsh transform. It is called the Walsh transform. And over here, the foundation is basically the Hadamard matrix. So herein, the Hadamard matrix is the raw building block of the Walsh transform. Okay, it consists of square matrices containing only +1 and -1, because in Hadamard matrices we saw that we are only having 1 and +1, and since Hadamard matrix it is the foundation, so here also we will be having the same nature. Okay, so if you see, note the scaling factors are required for normalization in the Walsh transform also. The rule what I said, 1 by under root of 2 whole square, it is also true in the case of not 2, it is basically n. It is also true in the case of Walsh transform. Okay. So what is happening? I will start with this 4 by 4 Walsh matrix also only. Okay, let me tell you about the 2.2 system also. So what we do, we look into sign change. Okay, so if you see, when as I move from right to left in the first row, is there any sign change? No. So I will be giving the sign change and ordered. So no sign change, 0. Here there is a single sign change, so it becomes 1. Okay. So when I am constructing the Walsh matrix, so in the first row, I will be putting up the values that appeared in the minimal sign change row. So 1, 1, and then in the second one was 1. So we are having 1 of and -1. So if you see, the transformation matrix of Hadamard transform and the Walsh transform, both are the same. Okay. Hence, in many textbooks, you will not find the description for the 2 point or 2 by 2 Hadamard matrix, Walsh matrix, this computation. Okay. That's why I have also not put basically. So next, what happens over here is that in this case, it becomes interesting because we are having 4 rows and there would be some changes. So as we move from right to left, in the first row, there are 0 sign change. In the second row, see, here to here, 1, here to here, 2, here to here, 3. There are 3 sign changes, so I have put 3 sign change. Then in the next one, no sign change, then there is a sign change. So there is 1 sign change. In the next one, again, here to here there is 1, then it continues, then it comes over here. So there are 2 sign changes, so I have put here. So now the Walsh transform would be made, see, this row, since there are no sign change, it directly goes over here. Then after 0, we get 1, so 1 is here, so this goes here, 1, 1, -1, -1. Then the next number of sign changes is in the last row, it goes in the third row, and lastly the second row of the Hadamard transform, it comes over here. Okay, so the rows are rearranged into ascending order of sign changes. For example, the row with 3 changes moves to the bottom, while the row with 1 change moves up. Okay, so the result is this thing, Walsh transform equals to 1 by 2 multiplied by this thing. The result is the symmetrical matrix where frequency increases linearly down the rows. Note the clean structure of pure 1 and plus 1 integers. Okay. Done. So yeah. So transformation pipeline, same thing. We have the input image. So multiply rows with the Walsh matrix, we get the intermediate matrix. Then multiply columns with the transposed Walsh transform. So we get the result, and in the first pixels, we will be getting the energy compaction. This separable process, rows then columns, allows for efficient computation. Okay, forward transformations. The examples these are given. So again over here, if you see, for the highly correlated data, every other parameter is 0, and over here it is 4. So it is in the first pixel we get all the energies. Okay. So inverse transform, when you perform the inverse transform, you get back to the original image, right? So advantage, computation efficiency. Okay. Sorry. So no multiplications required. So because the kernel elements are exclusively +1 and -1, the transform implementation requires only simple addition and subtraction, plus a final global shift or scaling is there. This makes it exceptionally fast in hardware. Okay. So Walsh transform key characteristics: integer implementation, high speed, and energy compaction. All because of the similar computation nature with the Hadamard transform. Okay. So a tool for structural simplicity. While sinusoidal transforms dominate frequency analysis, the Walsh transform offers a uniquely efficient alternative for digital systems where computational speed and hardware simplicity are paramount. Okay. So then the applications are there. I think I missed one image. Okay. So with this, I will stop over here because the next transform it is a bit wonky. You need to understand and you have to do a lot of computation to get to the next year. Okay. So now you compute the 4-point Hadamard and the Walsh transforms and perform the forward transformations. Okay.